This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Don't mistake the new me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. 1, 2, 1, 2. Forget the things you probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard top, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright, alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh,
All right, what up, though? All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Let me do this. I have to be off this thing by 4:05 at the latest. So let me go ahead and set up a timer so I can get my behind off. I have the Glance Scroll, and it is a device that I don't know if you guys know what the scroll is, but it's super cool. It's like a ticker, and I'm trying to actually get them to make a timer, a countdown timer, or like a stopwatch. So it's up here in the studio. I could just have that on and know when I have to get off. There is something in the on the software. Okay, let me see. So I need to get off in 1 hour because we be going into overtime way too much, bro. Way too much. All right, so let's go ahead, do an hour, and then we will start that. All right, I got it all queued up. What up, nephew? What's up, Dennis? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday thus far. Shout out to the Pistons. They got it done yesterday. K didn't do that much scoring, but he did get several assists. So shout out to the Pistons, man. Still the best record in the Eastern Conference. And shout out to the Lions, man, because look, we're trying to. We might not win the Super Bowl, but you know what? We're still in the season right now, and we got to do all we can. We got to hold out, not hope that we win the Super Bowl, because I don't believe in hoping, but I do believe in staying in the season. It is important to me that we stay in the season. What is that button? Oh, the download button. Okay, cool. So I hope everybody's having a good time, like a good day. You know what I'm saying? Try to find some positive in the week. It's been a tough week. Did a video on Lion Syndicate. Speaking of Lion Syndicate, got a huge announcement to make. I'm very excited about that. Shout out to the non-sponsor, man, Liquid Death. Some fellas in California got me on this last year, and I just started drinking it because when I go to 7-Eleven, I be looking for sales, like deals, what's two for whatever, and this is the current twofa. So I like carbonated energy drinks, but, you know, I'm 46, so I need to chill out. So let me taste this one. Okay. Oof. Wow, it really does taste like cola. Wow. This is called Killer Cola. Yeesh. Okay. Not bad. What up, Rail? What up, everybody? And the 26 people that we have in the building. All right. So let me get this out the way first. I want to say that I am truly, truly thankful, man, for what this community has done for me. Has allowed me to be a fan of the team that, you know, went from sitting at his mom's dining room table with a Yeti snowball microphone. That's the one, the circle one. I actually still have my Yeti. What is it? What is the blue Yeti? What's the regular microphone? The one that everybody uses. And I got to show y'all something, man. Y'all actually going to find out. All right, so check this. This is from my Twitter account, man. Lion Syndicate. We hit 32,000 subscribers, man. 32,000. It's a tremendous, tremendous honor to be where I am. And I am still, this channel is still the highest subscribed independent YouTube channel that talks Detroit Lions on YouTube. I just said that. It's too easy. I think they have a little bit more than me, but they don't make like, you know, Lions news and stuff content. They pretty much go to every Lions game and then they disappear during the season. That's Eric and Katie. That's what they like to do. And I've got no issue. I love it. We need that in the space. Me, that's not my lane. My lane is Lions news, rumors, analysis, because that's what I started off doing. So Lions Syndicate, and the reason that this is a celebration, man. 32,000 people. So to put that in perspective, that is Little Caesars Arena, man. Like, that's crazy. Maroon 5 was just at Little Caesars Arena last week or 2 weeks ago. You guys can see grown 609 subscribers, almost 450,000 views, 53 hours of watch time. It is an honor and a privilege to know that I could get enough watch time for about 13 or 14 YouTube channels. You need 4,000 hours of watch time. I have enough watch time for 13 YouTube channels. Like, in the last month. This is in the last 28 days. I mean, I do put out a lot of content, right? But one of the reasons I do that is because if you don't put out the content, you'll be left behind. And that's what we talk about when it comes to the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. You have to evolve. If you don't evolve, you'll get left behind. And that's in anything in life. So I want to say thank you. And on top of that, y'all, by the time we get off this live stream, this channel here will be at 5,300. 5,300, man. So between the two channels, and I promise you that this channel will become more. This channel was brought in existence to harbor all types of content when it comes to Michigan. But again, it's hard to find like-minded creators. We got Motor City Cats. He's tied up. We did invite Spirit of Detroit. He's tied up. We had David Pike, Motor City Mania. Nick is I'm still trying to get in contact with him. And, you know, I'm really trying to get you a Pistons dude as well, right? So this is what we set out to do. And because of you guys, man, we are getting there. So I just wanted to say thank you and share in that celebration with you guys. What's up, God? What's going on, Rail? We got Eric. We got Nephew. We got Dennis in the building. Run the Ball says, we forced teams in the division to get better, and now we're outside looking in. Tough. Alex says, yo, congrats, Derek. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Raw Detroit. Appreciate it. Raw Detroit, man, was there from the beginning. He was there. He's still making content. Was over there, too, man. We was there from the... Come on, dog. Dang. We was there from the beginning, man. Again, I have no independent, like, I'm independent. So what that means is that I don't have a boss. Like, I am my boss. So basically, you guys are my boss. There is no digital company behind me. There is no investor in the company. Like, there's nothing like that. This is all just fan power, man. And that's why the title of this, the tagline of this whole brand is fan-driven brand, because despite everything that this brand evolves into, it'll always be based on the fan. That's 100%, man. Shout out to Alex in the building. Hey, Nephew says, I'm a Pistons guy. I just need to get a camera for filming. Well, hey, holla at your boy, man. Holla at your boy. Get a camera. Start doing some visual content, bro. I know you be in spaces all the time, right? So probably here's what I would do, Nephew. Start recording yourself like do a pretend video and keep doing that until you feel comfortable enough to really, because this is an art form, bro. Believe it or not, talking to no one. Like, I'm looking at my camera, but I'm thinking about the chat, right? It's really a unique kind of a skill that you have to develop. So absolutely, man. Shout out to Alex Grounds with the super chat. $10 says, been watching a lot of YouTubers lately. I think they've been watching your videos on Brad Holmes. I signed on Brad Jerome. I signed Bums Holmes. They've been pointing fingers at Brad all week. What up, nephew? I've been thinking about Melvin Brad Holmes. It didn't start yesterday. Hey. Absolutely it did, man. And that's one thing. And you know what, bro? I've noticed that too, Alex, that I'm seeing that too. Somebody, like, people send me stuff, and they sent me some stuff from Woodward Sports. Y'all know how I feel about Woodward Sports. It's not the guys there. It's the owners of it. A few of them, because of what they did in this space, how they broke into this space. I just don't appreciate it. But that doesn't matter. What's happening is now you can't deny what Brad has lacked in. And we've been saying this stuff because it's been obvious in your face, right? And so going into year 5, Brad was very boisterous. He was very haughty about, hey, what's going on with Za'Darius? Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if you look, even, and I said this yesterday about Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you got two type of Brad Holmes. You got the pre-Jahmyr Gibbs Brad Holmes, and then the post-Jahmyr Gibbs Brad Holmes. And I think it's an issue. And I made a great video, a great tweet. As a matter of fact, let's bring that in. Because I want to show, like, I've been getting a lot of, Twitter is what I would imagine a war zone to be like. Because it's absolutely crazy, man. It's like no opinion is valued. Everyone has one, but nobody respects, yours. So it's kind of crazy. But I do want to show you something that I said, and I want to get you guys' thoughts about it. Okay. And then we could go from there. And it's something I wanted to talk about yesterday that involves a player on our team that I think we need to have a conversation about. What up, Melodrama? Let me say, Unbreakable says, you are the best YouTube content creator. Keep it real. Hey, man, you know what? I appreciate that. And the thing about it is, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have said that, but people don't have to say that, because you're allowed to like multiple people. You're allowed to think I'm the best or this guy's the best. It's not even about being the best, man. It's about, is that a factor that keeps me going? Yes. Because there is competition out there, and I'm driven by competition. Like, you have to be better than you were yesterday, in even the smallest way. But for me, it's about telling you guys the truth. And if you like Raw Detroit, man, Raw Detroit been around since 2018. He been around. I started in 2018, and I was raw. I was uncut from that very point. And what happened is the team began to win, and Lions fans were so eager for a winner that they ignored what the glaring needs of this team, and they just wanted to crown Brad Holmes. Like, I said this on Twitter. You know what grinds my gears is saying that Brad Holmes is the best general manager we've ever had. Okay. Is that really a good thing, though? Think about that. The Detroit Lions have been around. As a matter of fact, let's do this. There's been a lot of talk. Brad Holmes has been the discussion for the last week and a half for a lot of Lions fans. And eventually we're going to have to move on. So what I'm going to do is, Brad Holmes, when we lose a game, winning covers everything. These hoes have been on our team for a while, but the offense has carried the team. In 2024, the offense carried the team. In 2023, the offense carried the team. Winning covers everything. But now that we're not winning, we need a cure. Okay? So Brad Holmes, the talk about him is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, right? And in the offseason, we're going to have several conversations about it. 100%. So, but we are in a moment now where I am trying to focus on what's in front of us. And what's directly in front of us is the next 5 games and how we have to win the majority of them to be in the playoffs. And it starts against the Dallas Cowboys. So I haven't thought about or haven't moved on from Brad and the holes that's on this team. And the fact that there's going to have to be a reckoning this offseason. And I'm not talking about the man getting fired. I know some people feel that way. I don't think he needs to be fired, but he does need to evolve. He does need to humble himself. There's been a lot of talk about Brad Holmes. And I think that for the first time in a long time, there's a lot of attention on. I have never, and I do mean never, even back in 2022, when we started 1-6, we were talking about, okay, yo, are these guys the right guys? And some of us might have wanted them fired. You know, that's what we were used to, the whole Matt Patricia. Our patience is thin. You know, if you ain't getting it together, you got to go. And we know what they were working with. Then we bought in. We bought into the speech, and we bought into the retool. We bought into all that stuff. And it paid off. It paid off. 12-5, 15-2. All the while, the holes were still on this team that have not been addressed properly. We went over the draft yesterday. And the draft and free agency. Somebody said that we signed Charles Harris and Romeo in the 2021 or 2 free agency period. Okay, so I missed those. Yippee-ki-yay. Like, okay, did they change this team? No. Did they elevate this team? No. And that's the point, that we're talking about elevating the team. So this offseason is going to be a focus on Brad. And I cannot wait until that end of season press conference when he gets in front of the media and he says what he has to say. It was disappointing today to see the New York Giants general manager have a bye-week press conference. I think that Brad Holmes should start doing that. I think he should start doing that. If the bye week is early, here's what I would do. If the bye week was early, I would just wait until the trade deadline. And I would have a trade deadline one and maybe sprinkle. It's up to Brad to get in front of the media. There's no rule book of, hey, you can only get in front of the media this time. Look at Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the owner, the general manager, and he all over the place. When he want to be, where he want to be, right? So Brad, it's up to Brad. And I know why most general managers do it, because they want the team, they have the offseason, they want the focus to be on the team, on playing the game. And I get that, I respect that, but we need to see his face. We need to see his face, man. We needed to see his face at the trade deadline. We needed to. So if we have a late bye week, you know what he should do? He should show up at the trade deadline, whether we make a move or not. He should show up at the bye week. If we have a week 14, 13 bye week, something like that, that's when he should show up. We need to see his face at least once a year during the season. That's what I feel. Currently, he about 50-50 on draft picks. Some we hit on, some we miss on. Oh, no, man. I live in Dallas, Texas, says Lori. I lived in Dallas, Texas from 2013 to 2023. Jerry Jones was always talking on the radio, TV, et cetera. He talked about trades, et cetera. Somebody put in the comment section the other day that it's sad that Brad Holmes has been outshined by Jerry Jones this season. And that's facts. Jerry, for everything we know he can be, and all the idiotic decisions he can make, he made some good ones this year. He traded away Micah Parsons. Green Bay did the right thing by taking him. And then Jerry said, yo, we not done yet. We're going to trade for Quinnen Williams, and Quinnen Williams has made their team better. That's what we are expecting from the Detroit Lions general manager. So here's what I wanted to ask you guys. And I was posting, Twitter is a source of a lot of information. And we've been talking about this, and again, we'll focus on the season because we got a game to play in 2 days. We have a game to play in 2 days, and I don't want to be distracted by Brad Holmes, but it's hard not to always talk about him when we've been praising him for the last 3 seasons. And now the reason that we are where we are is because of Brad Holmes. Yes, you can blame Dan Campbell for not taking the points. You can always do that from way back in 2023. You can blame him for that. We know our coach. We know and sometimes he got to stop being so stubborn as well. But the personnel of this team, Brad Holmes is the boss. It doesn't matter that him and Dan are great together and they agree and blah, blah, blah. He is the boss. If he has to pull rank, he has to pull rank. And same thing with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell could push back just a little bit. I'm not saying that I want the organization to fall apart, that I want a front office and a coaching staff that starts to be in disarray. I'm not saying that I want that, but I want this team to feel like they feel that we need to win, that they have the same urgency that fans have. We might not have the football knowledge. right? We might not know about every college. Just think about it. Brad Holmes don't have all the football knowledge as well. He relies on scouts. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they rely on people, right? And who let us down? Brad is the ultimate decision maker. But I wanted to share this with you and let you know where I'm feeling and why I feel the way that I feel. This is what I put on Twitter this morning. I get attacked a lot on Twitter because I'm not a Brad Holmes slappy. I like the guy. I think he has what it takes. But just like anybody with a bit of an ego, you got to get out your own way. A lot of people have been saying that Brad Holmes should be fired. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But I will tell you how I feel. This is something I put on Twitter this morning. It says, for the people who don't read well, and that's a knock at the people on Twitter because they're quick to respond before they even read your posts, I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. I don't believe that either Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes are going to be fired. Neither do I think they should be. They do, however, need to earn a second extension, which is all facts. They got one at the end of 2023. They need to earn another one. The facts are they have 2 years remaining on their current deal. There also needs to be some accountability. My only issue with Dan is sometimes you have to take the points, and it's obvious that he needs a dedicated offensive play caller. Brad Holmes, however, is a whole different story, and it's too much to put really into this post. Long story short, he needs to get out of his own way. I also feel that it's time to prioritize grit over talent. I'm sorry, talent over grit. I got ahead of myself. We've seen that it's not enough. What I would like to see in terms of accountability is maybe a conversation from Sheila. Since both individuals need to earn extensions again, it's only right that she gets an update on how they intend to get us to our first Super Bowl. The all grit era is over. And look at that, man. I swear, bro, like I put out stuff on Twitter and it get numbers. 6 retweets, 38 comments, 7 bookmarks, and 104 likes. This space has become about pleasing people. And it never should have been like that, right? Everybody's opinion is valued. Not everybody, I'm not right all the time. But what I am is a fan I'm looking at this team subjectively. And it's like, yo, we have to get better. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They're second in sacks because essentially of one man, but they're also on like their 81st quarterback. They're literally on their third quarterback this season, the third starting quarterback. If other teams had the offense that we have, they would go further. We have to. It's been the same glaring needs all the time. And now Terrion Arnold is out for the season. He's done. He's only played 8 games this season. Turns out that the shoulder that he hurt during the Cincinnati Bengals game is the shoulder that took him out. Apparently, he's been dealing with an issue and it got too much to deal with. So he's done for the rest of the season. That's where we are, Lions fans, where we have to evolve. This team has to evolve because teams around you are evolving. And it's something that you have to do. You either get with the program or you get left behind. This isn't No Child Left Behind. This is your team will be left behind. If you don't evolve, you get left behind. But that's in life, period. That's in life, period. If your job changes the way they do things and you don't change with them, you probably won't have that job anymore. So we'll see what this offseason has in store. Right now, we got 5 games left. And it's going to be up to, and this is why I have to respect Dan Campbell. And this is why Dan Campbell has earned my respect. Because while Brad is doing whatever he's doing, my coach is getting in front of the media, and he is going to coach us to the playoffs. Brad couldn't even get in front of the media at the trade deadline and say, yo, this is why I didn't make a move, because I believe. So Dan Campbell has to hype not only his players, but the fan base and will our way to the playoffs with the personnel that Brad Holmes gave him. this is why it's hard to keep the same amount of respect for Brad Holmes that I have for Dan Campbell, because Dan Campbell is in the trenches and he's always been. Brad is hiding somewhere right now, and it's not a good look. It really isn't. So I hope that the media is very, very critical of him this offseason. I hope they don't hold back at all, because he deserves that. He deserves that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, let me get to the chat. Let me see. Facts Grid, we've been talking pass rush years ago, bro. Hey, Raw, it's been almost a decade, bro. Like, real talk, it's been 8 years. 8 years. We done been through Trey Flowers, Romeo, like Everson Griffin. I forgot that we traded for Everson Griffin, my dude. We traded for my guy, man. Like, yo, this is crazy. Hey, Lori. Man, it says, yo, I've been following you for 6 years. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. No, hey, look, it's all Raw Detroit, one of them too. It's other Spirit of Detroit. It's people out here to keep it a buck, man. It's just that's what we need. We need, man. We need that. Let me see. I can never forgive Brad for not getting Phillips. Dan doesn't take the points because we don't have the horses to move the ball or get stops. Let me see. I wish Brad Holmes had kept Big Z. Too bad we never got to see Hutch and Zadarius at the same time. You know, that's another thing too. That's another thing too. Like, for all the criticism that us YouTubers get about being basement general managers or armchair GMs or couch GMs, it's like, yo, we had Zadarius. So check this out, yo. This is crazy. Oh my God. The more you think about it, the more upset that you get. So Zadarius Smith retired. So what? That's not the point. Because who knows if he would have retired if he would have been here? Who knows? Who knows? Because here's what I feel. If Brad Holmes would have, if Zadarius Smith doesn't get cut, I think that it is possible that he doesn't play, he doesn't report to training camp. But I don't see that. I don't see Zadarius Smith skipping training camp. He skipped training camp because he wasn't on a team. He wasn't on a team. Don't you think it's quite the coincidence that Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell says, oh, another thing too, another thing. Ain't it funny? I think it's funny that Brad is catching strays for Dan Campbell saying we're good. Dan Campbell said we were good. Brad never said that. He never said we're good. That was Dan. But Brad is catching the strays. But let's go back to Zadarius. If Zadarius is on this team, I think he's at training camp. That's what I believe. When was the last person, Detroit Lion, under Dan Campbell, that you heard skip training camp? You haven't. We haven't. What's up, Reg? Says it's crazy because both of them were happy to play together the next season. We paid Hutch $45 million not to get a sack. Freight, listen. I'm not, if you have a criticism of Hutch, that's fine. That's fair. I get it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not this year. Not this year. And the reason that I'm not going to do that is because I absolutely refuse to blame the man that has been the leader and is still the leader in a down year. He leads the team in sacks. I'm not going to complain about a guy who constantly shows up and performs. As a matter of fact, let's have it. All right, so this is not dedicated to one person, but I've been seeing this a lot, and it's kind of grinding my gears. If you have a thought on Aiden Hutchinson that he's underperforming, that's fair. I'm not going to be as harsh on that. He coming off a season-ending injury that's pretty violent, by the way. Let's not forget he's got hardware in his leg. He's got the bionic leg. Now, he's not the only guy to go through that type of injury and come back, but the fact that he's back is a miracle in itself. The fact that he's playing as well as he's playing is a miracle, in my opinion. He could have missed the whole season. He could have let it heal naturally, missed the entire season, came back in his final year, his contract year, tried to get his bread up. Is it safe to say, is it an overreaction? And we'll say we'll do that for a segment, but it could be an overreaction, or it could be valid that Hutch was not worth $45 million. Let me give you my thoughts as to why. It's not that I don't want to criticize Hutch. Hutch is not on the level of Myles Garrett, and that's okay. Myles Garrett is a specimen. A specimen. who played basketball. So not only is he big, he is a monster. That's why everybody wanted him. That's why you give up three third-round picks or first-round picks, for a almost 30-year-old pass rusher. Because at 30, he probably better than 90% of the people below 25, right? So that's why you do that. However, when it comes to Hutch, can't be too harsh on him. Matter of fact, I won't be harsh on him at all. You know why? Because from the time he's been a Detroit Lion, and I do mean from the time he's been a Detroit Lion, he has been number one in sacks on our team. And in some cases, it's been by a landslide. Rookie year, sophomore year, the year he got hurt. Keep this in mind. And this is really gonna shake you up. In a year that the man goes down before playing half of the season, he had 7.5 sacks. 7.5 sacks. Went out in October. I think it was week 7. And for the next 11 weeks, he led the team in sacks. I want you to marinate on that for a little bit. Marinate on that. Aiden Hutchinson went out in week 7 at 7.5 sacks. And he still led the team by the time the season ended. On top of that, the Detroit Lions were the only team in the NFL playoffs to not record at least 1 sack. And that's with Zadarius Smith. I can't be too critical on Hutch, not when he's had no help. Myles Garrett, the great and powerful, has had help. We know what he can do by himself, but he also had help. A couple weeks ago, his team got 10 sacks. He only got 1 last week, I believe, putting him at 19 on the season. And you can do that when you have people helping you, when you have a team that has to be accounted for, when you have a defensive line that needs to be accounted for. Ours is not that. Aleem McNeil, no sacks. Coming back from us, I got no problem with Aleem either. You know why? Because Aleem is usually number 2. It's Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil. Both of them were coming off season-ending injuries. No wonder we didn't have any sacks. No wonder we still 32. That's another thing too. The Detroit Lions have gone to from second to 4th to 6th to 8th to 10 in sacks. I will not be too hard on Hutch. And I trust Hutch. I trust Hutch more than Brad Holmes because I've seen this man work. I've seen him run in the pool like the Bionic Man. I've seen him try to get back on a bum leg if his team made the Super Bowl because they needed him, while the general manager sits on his behind. I will not be too hard on him. I won't be hard on him at all. Now, next year, we can have a conversation. I'm not having it this year. Hutch is the only man making any impact on this defensive line. And those are backed by statistical fact. You go look at Al-Qadim Muhammad, nowhere to be found in 4 games. Hutch disappearing? He should. He's got 2 or 3 guys on him. He's worn the heck out. He should disappear. He can't do it all. Just like Micah, just like any other elite pass rusher in the NFL, you're going to have a bunch of guys on, and eventually you'll win a one-on-one, but you're going to need some help, bro. They can't just turn 3 of the 5 offensive linemen in your direction. They can't do it. Let's not forget Micah. He not a hand in the dirt dude. Hutch is a hand in the dirt dude. He stands up occasionally. Micah is a stunt, come off the edge, all this other stuff. He that dude for sure. But he got a different skill set than Hutch, in my opinion. So why am I going to give Hutch a pass this year? Because he's earned it. He has earned it. And on top of that, in a quote-unquote bad year, he still leads the team in sacks. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So not only, check this out. If this is not a bad, I don't know how can y'all look at Hutch and judge him when Brad is the one you should be judging? In a year that Hutch was out for the season, and the year he returned, he still leads the team in sacks. He led the team when he left, and he led the team when he came back. That is crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you feel about Hutch? I think it's because he got paid. Is that why? Is that why you so hard on him? Because he got paid? I'll 100. He'll be more of a microscope, under more of a microscope next year. This year, nah, I can't do that to him. When for the entire time that he's been a Detroit Lion, it has been all him and Aleem McNeil. From the edge, it has been all Aiden Hutchinson. 100%. No Davenport, no Romeo, no Julian, no Muhammad, no Ahmed, none of that. It's been Hutch from day one, and it still is. Let me see. Raw Detroit says we had a healthy Zadarius Smith. Brad Holmes chose to go cheaper, and he got cheaper results with Marcus Davenport. You know, that blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind that Zadarius Smith was under contract. Here's another thing, too, that really, really, really grinds my gears. We cut Zadarius Smith to save money and then didn't even spend that money. We got like 20-something million right now that we're sitting on. We could have, we cut Zadarius to save money. And you know what? I know why he cut. I know now. You know what? I know. Yo, it all makes sense. Okay, let me ask y'all a question in the chat. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think Brad cut Zadarius Smith? It's not what you think. It's not what you think, but it's staring you right in the face. Somebody put it in the comment section. What was the real reason Zadarius Smith was cut? Yo, I just thought about this. Somebody put it in the chat. Let's see if you're thinking like me. Why did Brad Holmes cut Zadarius Smith? Okay, Vellock 85 says to not show up for Hutch. Nephew says that Zadarius Smith wasn't his draft pick. Okay, 100% says he wasn't taking a pay cut. Okay, Raw Detroit says salary issues to save money. JT says he had his boy Davenport. Red says to prove a point that we don't need another edge rusher and that Aiden is good by himself. Salary purposes. Danny says Sheila, and Sheila says save me money. Okay. All of y'all are right. All of y'all are right. Why did he cut Zadarius Smith? It essentially boils down to the fact Brad actually felt we didn't need him. So all of y'all were right. All of those things were right. But we kept focusing on money. It must be money. And Lions fans on Twitter and YouTube alike were saying, it ain't no way, man. Zadarius ain't worth $11 million. And I'm saying, yeah, he kind of is. He kind of is. He can get you anywhere from 5 to 9 to double digits. He kind of is. But it's about the money. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was about the money at all. Brad was like, we don't need you, bro. We don't need you. We don't need you. He doesn't care. We've already established, he's told us he does not care. He said that fans care more about the pass rush. I am so happy he said that this offseason. Fans care more about the pass rush than we do. That's what he said. Those were his words. And this is after, because I'm thinking, okay? Because think about this. Think about, I'm about to cook right now. Think about this. And this is what made me think of it. So you trade for a guy that is under contract for 1 more year. So you don't have to cut the dude. You don't have to cut him. Zadarius was a Detroit Lion at the end of the 2024 season. Point blank, period. He was under contract to return to the Detroit Lions. We chose to cut him. So you had your pass rusher. You had a pass rusher, a very capable pass rusher, but you chose to cut him. Then when you cut him, you don't even spend the money that you saved to cut him because you still got money on the salary cap. We've been sitting at 20-something million for almost all year. So you literally cut Zadarius Smith to do nothing with the money that you saved from cutting him. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, next year we will be paying yet again another void contract. DJ Reader is voided. His contract will be paid next year and is void years. But we couldn't use Zadarius Smith. I don't care nothing about him retiring, because guess what? I don't think he retires. The man worked all offseason to play football. He signs a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles within 48 hours of hearing Dan Campbell say, we're good. And he got over there and wasn't feeling it. Philly ain't Detroit, y'all. We want our winners. We love our sports, but we are nice people. When it comes to, we can talk junk about you. We can. And we might talk, but we ain't going to say nothing to your face. We ain't going to say nothing. But overall, we are nice people. We are nice people, bro. We embrace Zadarius, the man, all off season long. Think about it. All off season long, on his Instagram profile, it was a picture of him at the Pistons game in a Lions hat, bruh. That's crazy. I just thought about all this. Okay, so Asante Samuel is now going to be on the Steelers' active roster. So good for him. Oh, wow. Wow. Breaking news. Don't get any ideas, Lions fans, because it ain't worth it. The Steelers, they bring up and sign Asante Samuel, and Darius Slay and the Steelers decide to mutually part ways. We could have had Asante Samuel Jr., bro. He worked out for every team in the NFC North except us. This, on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, bro. Oh, okay. Yo, the all grit era is over. Do you know that Asante Samuel Jr., all this stuff's just starting to fall, it's starting to click. Asante Samuel Jr. was cleared after Terrion was injured the first time. So let's go back. Remember when Terrion Arnold we thought he was done for the season. Then we thought he was going to be on IR. Wow, Michael Badgley just got waived. Then we thought that, oh, wow, he's playing relatively quick. Turns out he wasn't healed to begin with. So during that time, Asante Samuel Jr. became available. He works out for every single team in the NFC North except us. All while knowing that Terrion Arnold was not 100%. Not just not 100% like all of the players are, but probably like one hit, one injury, one fall away from being done for the year like he is now. And we couldn't take a chance on Asante Samuel Jr., bro? Come on, man. I'm tired of the all grit. I'm telling you what, if I use profanity, there's a word that rhymes with grit that would fit in right now. Pretty good right now. So you know what? Brad need to catch all the smoke. And I'm not saying Asante Samuel Jr., I'm not saying that he's going to elevate this team to a Super Bowl level. But dog, you know that your starting cornerback is hurt? And how many times we going to put a meat on Justin Jefferson? Or how many times come on, man. We just sit there on our hands. Shout out to Dark City. $2 says, we are going to take care of the Bears this Sunday. Dark, I appreciate you. I'm not sure what you mean by that because we don't play the Bears this Sunday. So maybe you meant something else by that. Maybe you meant the Cowboys. I'm not sure. All right. So Run the Ball says, bring Slay home. Shift says, Slay back home. Al Torre says we good. So are we saying that Darius Slay should return? Now I will say this. I will say this. Hold on now. I got to make sure I get these 2 segments out. I got to get these 2 segments out, bro. But it's one that I want to do from yesterday, but maybe I can save it for tomorrow. All right. Let me Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Oh boy. Wow. Yo, I would die. I would die if Darius Slay returns here. I would die if he returns here, bro. Okay, hold on. Let me go here. Let me go there. Let me do this. I would die if Darius Slay comes here, bro. It's crazy. I mean, I don't think he comes here. What's up? B says, Derek, in your opinion, are the Lions done this year? No, they're not done. No, they're not done. He likes them. He likes them harmed. Slay said he wanted to come back to Detroit if it wasn't Philly. He did say that. He did say that. That's exactly what I was about to say. I mean, yo, being a Lions fan is not for the faint of heart. It ain't for the faint of heart, man. Man. It really ain't. Because I thought that this was something that we were going to do in the offseason. Woo-wee. And man, oh man. 34 years old. 34 years old. We didn't bring back Quandre Diggs, so I doubt we bring back Slay. Darius Slay, 34 years old. You know what? This is going to be the last. I wanted another segment, but that's crazy. See Pool in the building with the super chat. Says Samuel wouldn't come here the way the Lions did Davis, Z, and the embarrassment about Anzalone contract. Players talk about that stuff. Hey, I wouldn't put it past, bro. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull up some information. Wow. I wonder why. That's weird, isn't it? That's weird. It might be trouble in Pittsburgh, man. It might be trouble in Pittsburgh. Okay. Now, I am under the impression that Darius Slay wants to retire, that he's going to retire after this year. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me go here. Okay. Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the time for a person to get cut and return to the Detroit Lions. While we were on the air, we got breaking news, and we're going to play the graphic right now. Breaking news, man. And that is that the Detroit Lions might be in the market for an old friend to return home. This is coming from Ian Rappaport. But first, it came from Tom Pelissero. Says the Steelers are signing cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. from the practice squad to the active roster per source. To make room, the team is waiving, I was going to say, cornerback Darius Slay. And then Ian Rappaport added, Darius Slay is interested. No, thank you. Darius Slay is interested in continuing to play and will consider other teams, assuming he clears waivers. Because after the trade deadline, it doesn't matter how many years you have in the NFL, you must go through waivers. Agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey said, well, Derek, what does that have to do with the Detroit Lions? Well, it kind of has a lot to do with the Detroit Lions because the Detroit Lions lost their starting cornerback, Terrion Arnold, to a season-ending shoulder surgery. So, wouldn't this be perfect? Old, on the decline, and in a position that we could use some help. Darius Slay, I don't like talking about what people ain't no more, but I got to mention it for the sake of this video. Darius Slay is not that same Darius Slay from Detroit. It's been 7 years. So he's now 34 years old. So he's not 27 anymore. Darius Slay, picked in the second round by Detroit back in 2013. That was the Jim Schwartz era. That was right before we hired Jim Caldwell. So he was drafted by the first Jim's regime. 34 years old, second pick, active. This season, 28 solo tackles, 3 passes, defensive. Now, don't scoff at this, y'all. The team needs some help. We need some help. And you're not really going to get any type of massive improvement at this point in the season. Trading for players. I mean, if you're talking about a practice squad guy or Darius Slay at 34 might be the better option. Let's look at his stats over his career. It's funny because he was drafted by the Jim Schwartz regime. He survived the the Jim Caldwell regime, and everybody loved Jim Caldwell. And then he was cast out by the Matt Patricia regime. Played forever in Detroit, then went to the Philadelphia Eagles and won a Super Bowl with them last year. Played a ton of years with the Philadelphia Eagles. As a matter of fact, we traded him from the Detroit Lions to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he remained a Philadelphia Eagle for 5 years. Signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the offseason of 2024, and said, if you remember, when he did his podcast, that if he didn't return to Philly, he would want to play for Detroit. Well, Darius Slay, this might be your opportunity to do just that. We are down our starting corner, and guess what? You fit right into the mold of what our general manager is looking for. This is his salary that he was getting at the beginning of the season. 34 years old, base salary $1.25 million, signing proration was 8.7, cap hit was 10. Says Darius Slay signed a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, including the 8.7 in signing bonus, 8.7 guarantee with an average annual salary of $10 million. In 2025, Slay will earn a base salary of 1.2 signing bonus, 1.2 salary, and a signing bonus of 8.7. And remember that 8.7 was the guarantee, right? Now, if I understand this correctly, I could be off, but that guarantee has already been paid by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that right? Even if it wasn't, it's 7 games. The Lions have 5 games remaining. 5 games remaining. So if he was claimed by the Detroit Lions or cleared waivers and decided to come back home to Detroit, we wouldn't owe him nearly that. So where are we at, Lions fans? Are we on the train of possibly claiming Darius Slay from waivers, or if he clears waivers, to entice him to come to Detroit? I don't think that's going to happen. We could have used the safety before, even though Quandre Diggs wasn't exactly the right fit, and we let him go through waivers. As a matter of fact, there's been a few Detroit Lions that have been here either through this regime and have returned, but the one I'm thinking of is Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones had nothing to do with the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes regime, but he wind up back here. It was crazy. Spent 2 years in Jacksonville, and in 2023 came back to Detroit and had nothing to do. He actually left when Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell were hired to go sign in Jacksonville. So I'm not saying that this is not going to happen. Matter of fact, look, it seems like something that the Detroit Lions would be looking into. The thing that we're faced with now, and this is what when I wish my team would get out of its own way, is the all grit, right? We get it. We get it. If no amount of talent is going to make you a Detroit Lion. But at the same time, you're not going to get any better at this point in the season. Like, you literally have to take what you can get. If the Detroit Lions feel that our current roster and practice squad roster, we just cut Trey Flowers, a cornerback, the other day. If they think that Whiteside or Dorsey is better than Darius Slay and that we can't use him, fine. I don't see why not. I don't see why we can't use a body at this point. We signed Bruce Irvin off the couch in 2023. We signed Tyson Alu from somebody practice squad, I think, in 2023. We are at the body's point of the season. And it just happens to be at a position we need. Am I putting Darius Slay on Justin Jefferson? Probably not. But, I mean, where we at right now? A meat can't guard everybody. So let me know what you think, man. Do you think that the Detroit Lions should either claim or try to convince Darius Slay to return? And would you want him? That's the bigger question. Brad likes these type of dudes. Unless you're finna sign Gilmore, no real easy way out. Bro, ain't nobody signed Gilmore. That's the crazy part. Brad Holmes may have that Belichick fetish. Slay run a 5'2", 40. Now Brad rubbing his hands like Birdman. Hey, you can put him on the same side as Brian Branch. And look, if Kirby Joseph is coming back, because it looks like he's going to be dealing with whatever he's dealing with for the rest of his life, right? If Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are back there, they can help out. They can help out, man. You can throw a Meek in there. I mean, it is what it is, bro. Schiff says we need all the help we can get. Ain't that about a trip? Lions should have signed CJ Gardner and Slay. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I wouldn't have complained if CJ Gardner. I mean, look, he playing pretty well for the Bears. He playing pretty well for the Bears, right? So, I mean, like I said, it's almost like after the trade deadline, you just got to buckle up. You got to buckle up, man, because that is your team. That's your team. Depending on how good you are. I will say this, that the Detroit Lions are not the powerhouse that they were last year. Meaning, last year, at this point in the season, we had one loss. I think, what were we? Okay, so we're going in week 14. The Lions, we hadn't lost to the Bills yet. What were the Lions this time last year? 12-1, 11-1, something crazy like that. All right, so if I'm looking at, let's just go by the standings, the NFL standings. And it doesn't go exactly like this, I don't think. But the Lions, as far as waiver wire, let's do league. And then I will bring it. It's similar to this, but this is not exactly how it goes. All right, so if we are looking at the waiver wire, check this out. Okay, so let's do it from the bottom. Darius Slay just got waived today. He cannot go back to his own team. So even though the team that waived him could be here, they don't get to reclaim him. It doesn't work like that. So the Tennessee Titans, all these teams have been eliminated from playoff contention. Obviously, it might be a couple teams off, but it pretty much is this order. It's going to be the Titans, the Giants, the Raiders, the Saints, the Cardinals. And knowing that Slay is a vet and he probably, he just won a Super Bowl, but he probably wants to go to a contender. You've got to clear all of these teams. But here are the Detroit Lions. This is where they were. This is where they are now. So what is that? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The Dallas Cowboys, 18, 19. So Detroit is right just above the halfway point, give or take a few in the waiver wire, as opposed to this time last year when they were right here. It was the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they were right here. So that's quite a few spots, man. They could claim him before the Eagles did. I don't know if the Eagles needed him. They could claim him, even though he didn't re-sign with them in the offseason, the Houston Texans. So we would get a chance at him before any of these teams, which is, I guess that's kind of good, right? It's kind of good. So anyway, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't think he's going to wind up here. But again, man, let me see. I would have liked Jabril Peppers when he got released from the Pats. Where is he at now? Where is he? Is he playing somewhere? I'm surprised Brad didn't call Bruce Irvin. Look, that's because Bruce Irvin almost 40, bro. He almost 40. But you know what? He might. since my artist name is Diva Dracula, I'm gonna do a spooky hours vampire theme lion show, bro. You inspired me. Hey, look, the more the merrier, bro. For real. Especially some alternative content too, man. That'd be kind of fire. But listen, that's the show. I got my timer so I can get off. I gotta go. My wife about to get off in a half hour. I'm gonna go and take care of a couple things, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you again for supporting this channel and supporting Lion Syndicate, where we hit 32,000, man. 32,000 subscribers, which is a big deal. 4 years of work now. We are in season 5 of this content. We also hit 5,300 on this channel here, man. So again, this is only the beginning for both channels, the brand as a whole. I really do appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over the ESPN predictor as we get ready for our game, man. A game to save the season. If you guys don't know this, no matter what happens tomorrow, no matter what happens this week, from Thursday to Sunday, the Lions will not be in the playoffs at the end this time next week. The earliest they could get in is week 15. They're going to run out of time eventually, man. Speaking of out of time, we are out of time ourselves. I will see you guys soon. Go Lions. And look, it ain't over till it's over, but we got to make sure it ain't over anytime soon. I'll see y'all soon.
And I'm pissing off the neighbors, whether homegrown or imported. We feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.